Hi again folks, just another short video. This one is just to show people what the Pyramid Plastics colour coded screen looks like when on the Enfield Interceptor. I had a bit of a job when I bought it, envisaging what it looked like on the bike and whether or not it would be big or small or whatever, and there were no photos at all, so I just thought I'd quickly put this video on. And as you can see, this is from Pyramid Plastics. There's several outlets sell it. It's actually a Puig, and Pyramid Plastics import them actually. But it's a good quality screen, it's not cheap. I mean, it's about 165 quid. It fits on with just two lugs at the side with stainless bolts. On that side, obviously. It's got a nice piece of trim here, which is actually plastic, but it really does finish it off, I think. And it has some very clever bolts to hold the screen on, which have like a compressing rubber tube. So when you get it, these things I don't know if I can point to it there, are sticking out like a tube, and when you tighten it, it sort of clamps up. Pretty clever actually. And you get two little pads, look. One goes on the speedo side and the other one just on the taco side. And in actual fact, it does give a lot of protection, that. I had a little Enfield screen on it before, which basically stopped flies hitting the clock, so that's about the only thing it accomplished. It wasn't any good at all actually, the Enfield smoked screen, and I had the bigger one. It was just pretty useless really. It stopped flies going on the clocks. But this actually does divert air just to below, I would say just to the top of my chest, but it certainly makes riding easier. Doesn't affect the handling adversely, and the colour is an exact match. It's absolutely bang on. Not cheap, but I think worth it. So when you sit actually on the bike, I'm very pleased with it. Again, it's a matter of personal taste. I'm sure some people will hate it, but if you are considering putting a screen on, then I thought I'd just post that video so that people could see effectively what it looks like when it's actually on the bike. And it does give a good level of protection. It does divert air. So that's it in profile. I mean, I personally think it doesn't detract from the classic look of the bike, really. Well, I like to think that. No doubt somebody will probably disagree, but I'm really pleased with it. It's a nice, and it doesn't vibrate, waggle about. It's just held on with two bolts. The downside was that the kit that came with it, you have to put these on, these little brackets. The bolts they provided were not long enough actually, because there's a couple of spacers. You can't really see it in there. There's a spacer actually in there, and their bolts weren't long enough, and they were mild steel. And I did email them, and they said they were going to look into it, and I said that, that sort of price they ought to be providing the correct length for a start, and also stainless, because the others would without a doubt rust. So there it is. It is a Puig. I bought it from a seller on eBay actually. I contacted a couple of sellers, asked them if they'd got photographs. Nobody had any. One of the sellers, I sent a nice email saying, do you have any pictures to give me an idea of the size and the scale? And I received a 2-letter reply. He just said, no. So I paid £9 extra to buy the fairing from a seller who responded helpfully, sent pictures of another bike with a similar fairing, and really tried to help. So I paid more money, bit extra and bought it from the helpful person rather than the person who just sent a one-word reply. So I'm very pleased with it. It's, as I say, it's not necessarily everybody's cup of tea, but the colour coding is great, and it certainly is effective. So it's just another little help, you know, if anybody's doesn't really, was thinking about getting one and thinks how big is it and what's it look like, there it is. You can by all means put your opinions and let me know what you think.